Am I the asshole? I lie to my brother about my financial situation because I don't want to help him. TLDR brother might lose home, asked me for help. I lied and told him I don't have the money because I don't like them looking down on my husband. My husband is a farmer while my brother works in IT. He and his wife always talk about his cute little farm and have never visited it or asked further questions about it. It's not exactly a cute little farm, it's rather two separate, larger businesses with several employees which he manages and in which he also both works manually to get a break from paperwork he hates. There are also properties he is renting out. I never talked or explained any of that to my brother, he never asked, and both he and his wife have made several comments that showed he is looking down on my husband. Never to my husband's face though, if it helps. I am also cautious around my SIL who has a bit of a spending problem and my brother who always enables her. If you look from the outside we seem like a normal middle-class couple. There is nothing fancy about our cars, home or activities. So, things went to a head last year for the first time, got resolved and are bad again now. My brother and his wife own a home and have a kid. Due to excessive spending 2 new cars per year, 5 vacation in star resorts each year etc., they are financially in trouble. My brother asked me if I could help with the utilities or the mortgage and told me he might lose his home. I lied and told him I wouldn't be able to. Mostly because of their comments about my husband I didn't and don't want to help. Also part of me thinks that if they sold their still brand new cars and would buy used ones instead or even stop the constant vacations there wouldn't be any problems at all due to the amount he is asking for. I feel like an asshole though, as it's not my place to judge where they put their money and B, we could pay off their home and cars and it wouldn't even put a dent in our financial situation. But I still don't want to. So am I the asshole? My brother and his wife own a home and have a kid. Due to excessive spending 2 new cars per year, 5 vacation in star resorts each year etc., they are financially in trouble. That's another reason not to help them. What makes you think they wouldn't just spend the money and come back asking for more? Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and you certainly don't need to lie either. Their poor financial decisions is their responsibility. Neither you or your husband are obligated to bail them out of the money hole they dug so deep. Not the asshole. Even if you can afford to loan money, it's a bad idea. Not the asshole, at all. Once they ask for money and you give it to them, you've opened up a whole can of worms where they will always ask you for money, and never take no for an answer. Not the asshole. But rather than say I can't help you, I would feel very comfortable putting that back on them. How do you expect us to help when we just have a nice little farm? Didn't you take a really expensive vacation recently? Not the asshole for not helping, but if you don't ever call them on their behavior then the behavior won't change. Not the asshole typical I'm such a big shot, European who works for a living attitude. You didn't lie, you said you wouldn't be able to. Your finances are none of his business whatsoever. You are also wise to keep your opinions about their I totally agree with you idiotic spending habits, let them clean up that mess on their own. Not the asshole. They are in significant financial trouble and have probably been juggling payments, etc. for a while. They are adults, it's not your job to fix their mess. Not the asshole. Once they ask for money, they open themselves up for judgment. Not the asshole, because what good would it do? Unless your brother changes, it is like throwing money out the window. It is rude that he doesn't treat your business with respect, but it also reflects how little he understands finance. The real thing is if you could sit down with your brother and explain that it makes no sense to give them money unless they sell a car and stop using credit cards. Not the asshole, they decided to live beyond their resources and that is their issue to resolve. Perfect score, agree that they can sell their belongings if they need cash. Not the asshole. You don't owe anyone your money unless you have purchased something from them, in which case you do contractual owe them the money. Saying you can't afford to help is really just a sensible choice to prevent him and your family bugging you about it. Not the asshole. They are not entitled to your money and have spoken derogatorily about your husband. His money isn't good enough until they want it. They can't have their cake and eat it, and whilst it's not an ideal solution, you're trying to keep the peace by lying. You'd be perfectly entitled to tell them no straight and why, but I understand doing it this way. Not the asshole typical I'm such a big shot, European who works for a living attitude. You didn't lie, you said you wouldn't be able to. Your finances are none of his business whatsoever. You are also wise to keep your opinions about their I totally agree with you idiotic spending habits. Let them clean up that mess on their own. Not the asshole. Don't let them guilt trip you into helping. If they really are in trouble, they will do what is necessary. They just want to go on another vacation and need your money to do it. Not the asshole. Part of being an adult is being financially responsible, and your brother and SIL aren't. You shouldn't have to pick up their bills because they would rather have new expensive cars and vacations. They need to get their priorities in order. On top of that, no job should be looked down upon. Not the asshole. Send them a Dave Ramsey book. Not the asshole. Your brother is not entitled to you or your husband's money, especially since he looks down on you both. Not your circus, not your monkeys. Not the asshole. Any money you loan him, you'll never see again. Your brother and SIL are very irresponsible with money and live far beyond their means. This isn't your mess to fix. Not the asshole for not helping, but don't lie. Tell them you are using your money to support your family. Full stop. No explanations or excuses, they aren't necessary. I grew up in a farming family and dealt with a lot of that. Oh, look at the cute little hillbilly folk BS from relatives with office jobs, so I get how freaking frustrating it is, but don't sink to their level. I would make sure you are rocking a designer bag or something next time you see them, because everyone needs to be petty sometimes, but try to restrain yourself. Not the asshole. Main reason being that if they are bailed out this time, they won't learn any consequences of their overspending. They need to get to the point where their only option is to sell their car. Maybe then they'll learn to manage their finances. Not the asshole. If you bail them out of their situation now, they will never learn and just assume you will help them again in the future. Not the asshole. You're not a walking wallet. I have no issue in helping out friend or family, but only to those who understand finances budgeting. My brother asked me if I could help with the utilities or the mortgage and told me he might lose his home. Tough shit. You not the asshole. Not the asshole. Giving them money won't solve their problems. You are doing the right thing not supporting their lifestyle at the expense of yours. Not the asshole. You know you're right. Don't be suckered by suckers, they'll never let go if they can convince you just one time. Not the asshole. Spending problems are a personality problem. If you bail them out now, they will expect it time and time again. They need to learn to deal with this problematic behavior and problem solve on their own. It's hard to see because it's family, but it's not your responsibility. Not the asshole. Sounds like they got themselves into the situation and they should therefore figure out how to get out of it. Their excessive spending is not your problem nor your responsibility. Not the asshole. The audacity to look down your nose at someone and then ask them for help when you screw up is certainly impressive. Not the asshole. They can sell the cars and or cut back on their expenses. Not the asshole. Giving a little bit will just enable them to keep the house a month longer. Recommend selling a car. I lied and told him I wouldn't be able to. That's not a lie. I am not willing to provide you with money to maintain the lifestyle of living above your means. Therefore I'm not able to help you. You just didn't say the first part and are under no obligation to do so. If they can trade in their cars and catch up on the mortgage payments, not the asshole. It's not your responsibility to help him maintain appearances. And about to lose his home usually means you've missed at least 4 mortgage payments.